Hey guys, so I'm really excited to be sharing some routines with you over the coming weeks. This week and next week, I'm collaborating with Julie from Stars of Jewels, and we are sharing our mommy morning routine this week and our mommy afternoon and evening routine next week. So be sure to check out her video when this one is over. And just a little disclaimer, I happen to love routine. I love structure. I'm very much a type A personality, and my husband works 14-hour days. So with homeschooling 4 kids, I really have to be on a pretty strict schedule. So please don't feel like I'm putting a perfect mommy schedule out there. This just happens to be what works best for us. And to be quite honest, this routine only goes so well maybe 2 or 3 weekdays. It's not a perfect life over here. So this is what my life would look like on a day that my routine goes exactly according to plan. Let's get started. So my alarm goes off about 5:30, depending on the time I got in bed the night before. It goes off somewhere between 5 and 5:30, but typically it's 5:30. And then my other alarm goes off and wakes me up right around the same time. I nurse her, and then I jump right into my first cup of water for the day, and I do apple cider vinegar as well. Then my husband and I like to do a devotional together. Right now, we've been reading Lifetime Guarantee for a while, about 10 minutes each morning, so it does take us quite some time to get through the books. We don't have a ton of time together, but just a little bit of time before the kids wake up. So we like to be sitting down no later than 6 o'clock for that time, because the kids could really roll out of bed anytime after that. Then every other day or so, I do a morning workout. If we're not doing a morning workout that day, then I am doing my personal quiet time at that time. And the kids wake up somewhere along the lines between 6:30 and 7, although we do ask them to stay in their rooms and read or just have some quiet time until 7, which is when the house all wakes up. So at 7 o'clock, when my workout is done, I grab the baby, who is definitely done waiting on me by that point. And then there's usually some work for me to do, wrapping up from the night before while the kids are getting ready for breakfast and I am preparing breakfast. So, like I said, it's not a perfect life around here. There's always some dishes in the sink. There's always some laundry on the couch. It is what it is. So on this morning, we were having toast to order, which always takes much longer than I prefer. And we do have a very strict breakfast schedule. We sit down by 7:30, no later than, so we at least have 30 minutes as a family to eat breakfast. That is because my husband is never home for dinner unless it is a Sunday, and we wanted to have at least one meal together as a family each day. And for our schedule, that happens to only work out during breakfast. So breakfast is our formal meal, meaning that lunch and dinner are very informal, and typically dinner is just me giving them dinner in the kitchen. So we all sit down together, we do our devotionals, our family devotionals together. Right now the boys are reading an action devotional, and the girls and I, Bella and I, are reading You're God's Girl by Winter Pitts, and I love that. I'll put links below if you are interested. So we have our breakfast time from 7:30 to 8, and then right at 8 o'clock, the kids start their chores. My husband starts getting ready to walk out the door for work, and I do a load of laundry, just throw one in, fold a load, turn on the vacuum, and get all of the appliances awake for the day. At this point, I typically have all of 10 minutes to take the world's fastest shower and throw on a different t-shirt and shorts for the day before we start our morning homeschool basket. Our morning basket goes from 9 to 10. I'll put a link up here for you to see what we typically do in our morning basket. And then right at 10 o'clock, we stop our morning basket no matter how much we've gotten done. I put a snack down and we go play outside in the front yard together. So I've found that if I make a couple of specific snack times during the day and I'm intentional with cutting up fruit and preparing a snack for that day, that my kids don't ask to snack as often, so they know that right now our snack times are 10 and 2. If I was doing a workout that morning, then I like to have some time during our outside time for me to do my Bible study. It's also really good to have a secondary backup time for both my workout and my Bible study, because things don't always work out well, and instead of feeling defeated right off the bat when a workout doesn't go as planned or a Bible study doesn't go as planned, I have a backup time set aside during my day so that I can have that time if I happen to miss it. It's important to have that time for ourselves, right? So as soon as we're done playing outside, like recess style, the baby is usually ready to come inside. So anytime between 10:45 and 11, I come inside, rock her down for her nap, turn on the vacuum in either the boys' room, the girls' room, or our bedroom, turn on the mop in their room, and then while that's running, I sit down and start their independent work with them. So their independent work is some math. They each have an independent math, and while they're doing their math, I'm doing preschool with my son. Just a little bit of time to be intentional with him. It fills his little love bank there quite a bit, just to spend 10 minutes with him one-on-one. And then he's pretty much, his attention's all done. He wants to run off and play after that. And then I sit down and do their individual reading lessons with them. I alternate whose lesson is first each day, and the other one does puzzles or reads or plays with Eli. So I should mention real quick that while we're doing school, their bedroom doors are shut. And there's a couple reasons for that. One, they want to get in there, I want to get in there. It keeps us from getting distracted during our focused, intentional school time. But also in the afternoons, when it is time to split off into their quiet time, they're anxious to get in there and get at their stuff. So their rooms have toys that are not educational. They're just good old superheroes and Barbie type of toys. And so they're anxious to get in there every afternoon for quiet time. But you'll see more about quiet time in my afternoon routine video. But I just wanted to mention that they stay in the same area, either at the art table, at the school table, in the schoolroom during this school hour. So the kids' math each takes about 15 minutes, which they do at the same time. I am in the room to help Jesse because he does still need my help with it and to help him read the instructions and so forth. And then I take turns one-on-one with them for their reading lessons, like I said. So each of their reading lessons take 10 to 15 minutes. I don't push either of them further than that. And when their reading lessons are complete, we have about 15 minutes left in that school power hour. And what they do then is either listen to Apologia on CD or do their Yellow Spot Sun art, which is on the computer, or they do some silent reading, or work on whatever work they didn't finish earlier during our morning basket time, which happens often as well. So while they are doing that and wrapping that time up, Eli is helping me set the table and get ready for lunch. He loves helping me. It's adorable. So I want to take full advantage of this sweet little time in his life and in my life. So we spend that 15 minutes together getting ready for lunch. He loves being my helper guy. And if the baby is still asleep, which is maybe a 50-50 shot at this point, I will read a little bit while we're eating lunch. Lunch is very, very casual, by the way. I bring my phone oftentimes and check YouTube, check on comments, check on Facebook, check on messages and all that. But I do spend a little bit of time reading some kind of an encouraging read, not necessarily a faith-based read, but for example, when I finished Pocketful of Pine Cones, I switched over to What's It Like to Be Married to Me, which is a good book. Just anything that's encouraging. It's not necessarily my Bible study time, but it's also not a time that I just read my little chick lit books. It's just a time that I read something that will encourage me in motherhood, in marriage, in homeschool, anything like that. And I just spend 10-15 minutes reading that, having lunch with the kids, chatting on the phone to my husband, whatever. And then little Missy wakes up. So I should mention that before she wakes up, if I did not have a chance to work out in the morning, that is the time I will use to work out while the kids are eating, and then I will sit down and eat. I do let them have some independence during lunch just because I feel like they would get that during school, so I don't want to hover over them all day long every day. I want them to be kids, So when she wakes up, I feed her, the kids run off and play, and that's where I'm going to stop this video for the day as far as my morning routine goes, because about now it's usually around 12:30 and we're getting started on our afternoon schedule. So next week you will see my afternoon routine. It is far more relaxed than our morning routine. I'm very much a early bird gets the worm type with my kids and myself, so we are very scheduled in the morning, and our afternoons are a lot more loosely scheduled or loosely structured. We do have certain times of the day that we hit certain things, like a certain time for chores and so forth and so on. But you will see all of that next week. So let me know in the comments below how your mornings generally go. And I will see you next week for my afternoon routine. Bye, guys.